Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us for episode 2 of Push2 A Plat Level Cap. This is a pure achievement trophy podcast. We are only interested in building our own level score and yours, listener. So if that interests you, you have come to the right place. We'll sure find something a little bit dirty, a little bit sneaky perhaps, to keep you busy this week. Joe, how are you doing today, sir?
We're doing good again.
Well, look, we sort of back-to-back the episodes, listeners, here. So the idea will be that we will drop a short format episode every week on you, but we'll probably record them every 2 like this back-to-back. So we don't need to go through our Xbox gamer score and PlayStation levels. Again, we did it in the last episode. But look, rest assured you're in safe hands here. In fact, Joe, they're in such safe hands, I thought we could start off just by showing them that not everything we play is amazing or amazingly fun. What is your, oh my god, I can't believe I played it moment for this week?
So I played Bird Game Plus, which I found to be a little frustrating.
A little?
Like the mechanics or whatever, like the flying and stuff like that, and like there's like certain parts where like trees start rolling and you gotta like hard turn and like you like feel like you're hard turning like the like left thumbstick like into like the next room, and you're still dying.
What about the boss like at the end of each bit? Like did you, because most of the guides when I played it, they only showed one of the bosses, and if you got the other one, the guide was like, well, bad luck, basically.
Yeah, so on the, what was it, the survival mode or whatever it was?
Is
that what it, yeah, like the survival mode, like I had to play it like 3 or 4 times because I kept getting the snake.
Yes.
And I had to watch a video on how to beat the snake or whatever, and he like throws like a reed or something at you, like something to like stop him from attacking you, and so you could finally hit him, and like it would just never come up. So then like I had to wait for the bee and the moth or whatever it was, like the 2 bugs.
Yeah.
Which was way easier because that boss I already beat and I knew how to do it.
The fantastic bird game, and 6 stacks as well. How many times have you done that experience?
No, I don't think it's on the Vita. I think it's only 3 stacks.
Oh, look, it's highly possible.
I believe there were performance issues when that game came out, so they didn't put it on the Vita.
Fair enough. Yeah. I think there's probably still performance issues with that game, but
oh yeah, no. What about you?
That's cool. Well, look, for me, I played the master of the oh my god category. I can assure you, this is a big year, listeners. There is a lot of AAA coming this year, a lot of fantastic indie, but the bar has already been set in January by the wonderful Gilson B. Pontes. Are you familiar with this man, Joe?
No.
Oh my goodness, you have been missing out, sir. This is a one-man dynamo. He is unbelievable. He does lighting, he does direction, he's the producer, he's everything. He does everything. Director, you name it, he does it. Animation. He is a one-man show, and he makes, Joe, massive open-world games, which is even more impressive when you consider, the likes of Bethesda and Ubisoft, and EA. He's playing in this field, and, he's excelling. Wonderful thing about this game is he usually has to price his games very high, obviously, because he's a one-man team. This time he's come in at the reduced price of $9.99, and it's on sale at this time of recording for half price. So how can you not go wrong? So if you don't know this man's previous work, he has now 4 games under his belt, which is impressive in its own right. His last game, Samuel of Orpheus, of course, a notorious game, a notoriously easy plat, because it did have an invincibility glitch in it. Of course, the game before that he released was also notorious because it took up to 16 hours to beat each boss. So he's one of these guys that he likes the big health bar, if you know what I mean. So look, anyone that's sitting on the fence about this game, you will know, if you're familiar with him, that he has interest in experimenting with lighting in games. In his previous game, Samuel, he chose not to use any lighting at all. So it was pitch black the whole time, which was fantastic. This time, I can assure you, in his newest release, Shadow the Ronin, he has gone the opposite way. He's experimenting with ultralight. So half the time, you can't see anything because the screen is white. It also has a wonderful 5-minute sequence you have to play every time you quit the game. So my suggestion is if you do this, do it in one sitting or keep the system running. Unfortunately, there is no invincibility glitch this time either, so you're in for some very long boss fights. And if you are familiar with his work, you'll know that he doesn't mark anything on the map. It's all on this roving bar. One of the great things is that the bar fades in and out randomly, so half the time you don't even know if you're heading in the right direction. So, oh my god, I can't believe I played it. I can't believe, listeners, that you haven't played it yet. Get on to that this week, I think. It's something, Joe. It really is.
What you're describing me, how does that pass certification at all?
Look, well, welcome to the PlayStation. There is no certification here.
Well,
are you telling...
I mean, like, 1,000 top rated got pulled from the US store because it didn't, like, they were basically just selling trophies, like...
Yes, well, I mean, there's been accusations that this man appropriates other people's art as well in his game. So, look, I'm not going to point the finger. He's a one-man team. He has to do what he has to do. But I think, Joe, as we come to do this, you'll realize that certification is a word that does not apply to PlayStation anymore. We've moved beyond that. So, shall we go, Joe? Now, this is exciting. Because we're not just PlayStation here. We're crossing the systems. Shall we go to this segment here? Now, I'm going to let you introduce it. I'm going to let you set the parameters here.
So, I came to CJ with this idea for an episode, and we would touch on it every month, because that's probably when it's most appropriate, at the beginning of every month, or maybe the end of every month when they both get announced. But we're going to be doing free game face-off, PlayStation Plus versus Xbox Live Gold.
Excellent.
So we're going to do it in two categories where it's trophies and achievements. So, like, easy for you guys or whatever that want to build your score, your gamer score, your trophy level. And we're going to go with overall quality as well. Like, quality of games, like how good they are versus how bad they are.
Well, that's a new concept for me, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
So let's kick off. Where should we start?
Okay, so PlayStation Plus this year this month, not year, has the BioShock collection, Sims 4, and a bonus game of Firewall 0 Hour for the PSVR. And the Xbox One has Call of Cthulhu, has the original Star Wars Battlefront for the original Xbox, which is actually going to be omitted from the trophies and achievements category because it doesn't have any. TT Isle of Man and Fable Heroes.
I like that this is our second episode, listeners, so I like that the first time this comes up, PlayStation have actually put a decent showing in, because this is the first time in months that the games have actually been substantial, I think. So, interesting. So what are we going to say? What do you think about trophies here and achievements for these things?
So the Xbox has Call of Cthulhu, which is in the 8 to 12 hour range, and Fable Heroes, which is in the 12 to 15 hour range. TT Isle of Man is about a lot.
Yeah, go on, say it. It's about 60 hours, listeners, I think, and it's a high skill game as well, so be careful of that one.
Yeah, some of those motorcycle games, they're very hit or miss with the difficulty curve.
Yes, there's also a bit of RNG in that, getting the events to trigger, so it can take multiple seasons, so be careful.
And obviously, we can't talk about the Star Wars because no trophies on original Xbox games, unfortunately. We've been begging for it for 15 years now, or 14 years now, and I'm not seeing any yet, and I don't think it'll happen.
Not likely.
Yeah.
And then this Call of Cthulhu. So this is, as you say, about 8 to 10 hours. This has a lot of missables. In fact, I think most of the achievements and trophies are missable in this game. So if that concerns you, this would be a game with guide, I believe, but pretty easy, I think.
And that one's actually published by Focus Home Entertainment, I believe, which is probably the last, like, B-tier developer left. There was a lot of them last gen with like B-tier, or A to AA games or whatever, and I feel like Focus Home Entertainment is like keeping that train chugging by itself.
Well, it's a good market to be in, I think, that B area. I love that. That's where I thrive, in that area. Now let's go over to the PlayStation. We said it's a bit of a positive month here, which is it's interesting. We've got the BioShock collection. That's not a bad deal at all.
Oh no, not at all. Two of those 3 games are in my top 5 favorite games ever. So,
which ones?
1 and Infinite.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, I've not played 2.
2 I did not like.
Okay, fair enough. They're not the simplest plats, these ones, though, are they?
No, not really. 2 has the multiplayer plucked out of it, which is really nice because I grinded that fair share amount of times on the 360 because there was actually 5 stacks for BioShock 2 on the 360. Yeah, there was US, Korea, Japan,
Would be enough.
PC, and actually, I'm gonna throw this one out there or whatever. This is actually a really hard one to get a hold of, like legitimately, and I actually do have a friend that actually got me a physical copy of it. There is a a PC Russian stack.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's like taking the Korean store and just, just expanding it, amplifying the difficulty. I love it.
Yeah, there's like 2 Russian stacks on like the Xbox platform, and they are not easy to get, and they are expensive.
Yeah. Interesting. And then we've also got Sims 4. So look, if you're familiar with the Sims series, it is a big 20th anniversary coming for them. So perhaps a reason why they're doing a little promotion here. Of course, with this game, be careful. There is tons and tons of DLC which will still be paid. Some trophies, I believe, some not. Some help the trophies, some don't. Look, it's going to be a micromanaging nightmare, I feel, Joe. Sims 4, what do you think?
I actually have never played a Sims game.
I think that's wise. No, I think I always think of Sims and I think of PC. But, look, if you're playing that on the console, let us know, I suppose. And then, look, what a surprise to see Firewall 0 Hour here, a PS VR multiplayer game. This is not the first time PlayStation have given it away on PS Plus. Look, it may not be the last time either. Perhaps a game like this should be free to try and boost the player pool. Look, it looks like a very tough plat. It looks like a plat you're probably going to have to boost. Look, I don't know that that's going to be super fun boosting that game. But, if you do it, good luck to you. I suppose that'll up your ultra rare count if that is something that you want to do. So, Joe, why don't we go into games, though, for this week that we're going to talk about here, listeners? So these are games that we have played, as we said. We found some maybe little tips or tricks or whatever. They are great for building your level. Joe, what do you want to throw out first?
So I played Dreaming Canvas, which is a real fun, simple game. I think it has like 5 levels, and you can get all the trophies in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. It's like a little impressionistic art style game, I think, for a few dollars as well. And 2 stacks, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, and just going to the easels in each of the one. That is, yeah. Look, there's not much more you can say about that. So why don't I throw one that requires about as much as well? And that is Music Racer. If you've been on the stores recently, you will see this game has dropped. So what is this game? Well, basically, it is a very simplistic rhythm game, I suppose, if you like, an on-rails rhythm game where you're just moving your car just across the frets to hit the notes. So one of the wonderful things about this game is that once you get bored of it, or look, if you're bored of it from the start, you only need to play yourself 2 levels. So you need to 3-star one and then 2-star one. Now, 3-star is incredibly easy. You do not have to get 100% at all. I'd say at a guess, you maybe need like 60% or in that range. It's a little hard to determine. The 2-star one is potentially the hardest trophy in this game because it's so easy to 3-star, you might just bump over the 2-star. So miss about half the notes or more and you will get the 2-star one. And then the 1-star one, you can leave the controller sitting. Now, the length in this game or in this plat comes in the grinding to buy the other tracks and the cars. Some of the cars are worth 100,000 and 50,000. If you're playing the game, you can possibly make 1,000 or a bit more quite comfortably. If you're AFKing the game, you're going to get a lot less. If you have a turbo controller, and why wouldn't you? This is a fantastic game because, again, you can just AFK the X button. It'll keep repeating the tracks. If you AFK for, I think it's around 4 to 5 hours, you will comfortably have enough to use save manipulation where you'll upload your save and download it again from USB or cloud to buy all the things. If you've got more time, or you just don't like doing that save manipulation, let it run for about 8 or 9 hours. You'll probably only need to save manipulate once or so in that. Fantastic. Joe, what do you got next?
The game sounds terrible, and it sounds like Color Slayer. It's like exactly what it sounds like.
Look, it's exactly. Look, I think it's even lower budget than Color Slayer, but it's exactly the same. It's the same. It's the same. And look, you play it the same way with a turbo controller. It's fantastic. more could you
Okay,
want?
the next one I'm gonna go with is probably one of my favorite indie games of last year is Donut County.
Yes.
Love Donut County. Reminds me of the Katamari games on the PS2, and I think there's one for the Switch.
Yeah.
You're just a raccoon. You dig a big hole, and you keep pouring stuff in the hole, and the hole gets bigger, and you just basically swallow an entire town.
That's exactly. And there's a pretty cool story in there as well, though, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was upset because he couldn't get the donuts.
Yes. Yeah. About 2 hours, I think, in that range. I think.
Yeah, it's got a couple missables, but there's also chapter select. Really easy, pretty stress free. The part where you have to make the soup was a little annoying, but very easy. Fun too.
Yeah, I like that. And 2 stacks, I believe, for that.
Yes, bought both of them from the totally digital
Yeah.
sale.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Now, after I disgusted Joe a moment ago with Music Racer, I better try and salvage my image somehow, because that's important. And I'll do that with the Super Street the game. So I have talked about this game all over the place, and it deserved some love. Initially, it was very difficult, but it has been patched. It's now super easy racing game. It's more of a drift racer, if you like. The controls are a little floaty. If you're having any problems, although it isn't difficult with the timing, I suggest you just ease up on the acceleration into the corners. You're going to drift around a lot of the sharper ones or whatever. The AI can be very aggressive at the start, but you can easily outpower them with the turbo. So if you're having troubles, invest in the nitro. There are 3 stacks of this game, E, U, N, A, and AS, and I believe it rarely goes on sale, but I believe the EU is currently on sale or has been recently. If you're going to do this one, just keep in mind that there is 2 or 3 multiplayer trophies, I should say. 2 are very simple, can be boosted just, with yourself or 2 people, 2 systems. There is one for 4 players, though, that requires you all to vote to continue the match. This game, Joe, has one of the most unique system sort of, inbuilt online systems I think I've ever seen in a game, particularly in a B grade game. Not only is it region locked, which is nothing new, but it's also IP locked. So it's tracking you. If you're trying to run two different systems from the same IP, Joe, it will block you here. So keep that in mind as well. If you have multiple systems, you're going to need to log in separately. At the time of recording, the JP stack is very underutilized. So if you're going to do that, have that 4-player trophy firmly in mind. And the only other tip I can give for this one is you are required to buy quite a few parts. When you get into the shop, you'll notice that there is actually no stat difference between the high-level parts or the most expensive parts and the low-level parts, except for the engine. So for those other parts, just buy the cheap ones. You'll have tons of money and you'll knock that trophy out of the park super quick. But look, around 6 to 8 hours, and it is a lot of fun, that one, and easy.
So I actually own that on Xbox One, and I am thinking of a totally different game than you were talking about. I think it's that Street Outlaws game that I was thinking you were talking about the entire time, because every time I go in GameStop, I see it, and I'm like, oh, this looks exceptionally white and trashy.
Yeah. Same people. This is the game they did before that one.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so I might get that the next time I see it, and it's not $40, because that is way too many monies.
I agree.
So, next game I'm gonna go with another favorite of mine, because I thought I would talk about games that I actually enjoy instead of Shameless Plats, but I do enjoy those as well, just because I like getting that number up. Chromagun was one of my favorite ID at Xbox games when I played it back on the Xbox One a couple years ago. I bought it the day or the week it came out, and I got the 1,000 of it in one day, I believe. Very fun, very similar to Portal. Instead of shooting portals, though, you're shooting colors, and you're doing like puzzles with like color, like paint blocks and stuff like that. Really, really cool. It actually has 4 stacks on the PlayStation 4, 2 VR for NA and EU, and then 2 of the standard version of the game with NA and EU. And there's actually a bundle on both store marketplaces where you can get both of them for a discount.
I love games like this, Joe, because it's what you say. They're great level builders, but they're also fun, and they're not hugely long either, are they? It's just they're really good experiences at this length, and there's nothing really, because it is a puzzler. I don't know if you remember it well, Joe, but there's nothing in here that's too difficult. There is only one semi-frustrating part in the game where you actually have to spin around in one of the rooms and hit, I think it's 2 on each side of the things, but even that is not that difficult or whatever else. And it is one of the games, I shouldn't say the few, but it is, listeners, one of the few that doesn't make you feel sick in any way. It's very stable in VR as well. So look, that's a great choice, Joe. I like it. Yeah, I like it a lot. And look, my last one, because we should give 100% love. 100% are important too. You do 4 of them, that's like a plat. Why not do them? Show the love to 100%. And of course, this is Five Nights at Freddy's. And I know you're thinking, what? No, too hard. Look, I agree, listeners. It is way too hard, even though it's super fun. There is a fantastic glitch, though, you can do on this, which will cut the plat time down well under an hour, probably in the 40 minutes range. It just involves the doors at the start. The left-hand door first, where you just open it, or close it, I should say, sorry, and then push the pause button as you're doing it. That will glitch the door closed the whole time, even though it looks like it's open. Do the same on the right. It won't drain any extra power. So basically, it's a breeze playing through all the levels. There are 2 miscellaneous trophies that you want to clean up as you go through. You can also do this trick on the 2020 mode, which of course is incredibly difficult. But with this trick, it makes it super easy, almost an AFK 100% in some ways.
I actually just learned that trick from you, so that was a game I was avoiding, and I actually might buy it now.
Excellent. See, we're all learning things here, listeners. So look, why don't we go? Now, I let you do 3 there, didn't I? We did 3. Good. Yeah. We did 3. I'm all over the place. I'm excited, listeners. It's so fun to share these little tricks and things. Of course, if you have some, reach out and let us know. So, Joe, Ratter Platter of the Week. What do we got this week?
Milo's Quest.
What do we think of it? I know you weren't a big fan of last week's Foxyland 2.
So, Milo's Quest feels very similar to Super Boxland remake and Super Willow's remake, and like in terms of looks and playstyle and stuff like that. And those are both games that I enjoyed. And this one, same boat. Real quick, I watched a video guide real quick to kind of learn where everything was, and then I played it 2 more times. I believe at the time of recording, I'm still waiting for one region to release again, so I can play it one more time. But I did it in just a little bit over 8 minutes on my 3rd playthrough.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts, Joe. I got a 9 minutes 30, and you come in with your 8. What are you doing to me?
I checked my trophies in the middle, too, man. You were slacking.
Oh, look, what I love, Joe, is out of all the stacks I do, usually one I try and do quickly, and the others, could take 5 hours, 7 hours, because I just do it in little bits as I walk past the system or something. But no, 9 minutes, that is all. I get a bit lost. To be honest, listeners, you don't have to use a video guide for this game, but if you don't, you just do get a little bit lost, I think, the first time or 2 you do it. But look, if you don't want to use a guide and you want a general overview, really quickly, you're just playing I believe, Joe, the adventure-only mode first. You're going up into the first area. You have to go all the way to the left, get a silver key. You go all the way to the right to get a silver key. You'll also pick up one of the items over there where you can punch the ghosts. You got to punch 20 ghosts. Then you head up. You do the same thing after the monster fight, which is fantastic. Giant pumpkins. Go all the way left, get your silver key. Go all the way right, get your silver key. You go up again. You do the monster fight. That's 99% of the trophies. You quit out. You load back in. You do one of the puzzles in the puzzle-only mode. That sounds right, Joe?
Yeah.
Isn't it fun? We've reduced the game down to like a 30-second spiel. I love it. And that, of course, will be 6 stacks on Vita as well, with the Asian stack coming later this week as of time of recording. So, Joe, what are we up to next? What are we going to waste our money on this week?
So I was actually looking at next week's game releases, and I was actually pretty stoked for Zombie Army 4.
Ooh, nice.
I really like the trilogy. It's got co-op, which is always fun, and it's basically just like a zombie kind of like horde mode game type of thing or whatever, with a campaign with the Sniper Elite physics.
Yeah, it's the same people, isn't it, that do the Sniper Elite? Yeah. Have you 100%ed any of the games before?
No, because some of it, I believe, takes some co-op, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong, but it's not a game that I really enjoy just sitting there and playing by myself. That's one that I like to have friends over or online and play with.
Yeah. Yeah, it does look interesting. I always find though that those sort of stealth. I mean, this is good because the sniper elites they're highly stealth. This one you can't really stealth because they're going to come at you either way. So I suppose this is more in my vein. That's nice. Yeah, good. And I think, look, listeners, what am I gonna waste my money on? Well, who knows? It's always exciting. But I was very interested after hearing Joe speak last episode about this Kentucky Route Zero TV edition on the PlayStation. So I think that will cover some of my interest this week. But Joe, I don't know if you know Patapon. Are you familiar with this PlayStation phenomenon, the Patapons?
I remember seeing it when it came out for the PSP. It is not a game that I played because I had gotten rid of my PSP by the time that game actually came out. I do remember playing Loco Roco a lot, though. That's kind of where I get like a similar vibe from Patapon as I do Loco Roco.
Well, look, I like Patapon. It's definitely from another time. That's sort of not only the mechanics, but just the general bizarreness of it as well. And of course, Patapon 2 Remastered finally drops. I've played a little bit of already. Look, it's fun if you liked it. I had a little bit of trouble with some of the coordination in the first one, some of the latency. Now, that may have been on my end. Some of these older ported rhythm games that can happen on your system if you're familiar with that. But I've been playing a little bit of this one. I don't have any of those issues with this one at all, although this is a remaster. So if that's of any concern to you, don't let it be. I'll also throw out this Sisters Royale. This is a bullet hell with a story or whatever else. These games are crazy, insane. Look, I think the Plat is going to be incredibly difficult because there are some requirements here for triple S ranks and also surviving the whole game on hard mode without getting hit. But look, if that doesn't bother you, if you don't care about that, there's some many easy trophies to be had in this as well. And look, it's just crazy Japanese fun. So why not waste your money on that, right, Joe?
Oh, yeah.
I think so too. So look, that is episode 2 in the bag. If you're trying to find us, we are on all good podcast providers plus YouTube. Do us a favor, write us a review. Give us 1 star if you feel stingy. Give us 4 if you don't. On one of these providers, help us out to subscribe to YouTube, or you will be able to find us on Twitter. But until we get our Twitter set up, where can we find you, Joe?
At CoolKidJoe XBL on Twitter.
And if you're looking for me, I'm Affectatiousdonk on the PSN. Please send us a message and let us know how you're going. I'm also going to throw in the Discord in the show notes. That's the Discord for our main show, Push2 A Plat. But of course, we're both in there, aren't we, Joe? So you can always come and say hi to us there.
Yep.
And then the last thing I thought, if there is any one game out there, if there's anyone willing to submit to some humor, because, it's all in good fun, of course, Joe, I thought we might offer some lucky listener the chance to submit their... I haven't spoken to you about this, Joe, so you'll just have to go with it and agree and then tell me what you think about it later.
All right.
But submit their profile for a trophy roasting. I think this could be a lot of fun. If you've got a profile out there you're particularly proud of, or not, that's also acceptable, and you'd like us to have a real dig into it. Now, I warn you, this will not be a flattering look. If you're looking for someone to puff yourself up, you've come to the wrong place. As you know, we're trophy whores, achievement whores here. We're all about increasing that level. But if you want to have a bit of a laugh with us, then send us a message through the various mediums listed before, and we'll do our best to analyze what you've been doing, listeners. So look, until next week, have a fantastic time, listeners. May the level rise, Joe. May I see you maybe by level 50 when we speak again?
Maybe.
Excellent. I look forward to it. Have a great week, sir. Have a great week, listeners.
Later, everybody.